RollerCon. RollerCon has 8 tracks, 70 coaches, 160 challenges, 24 bouts, uncountable seminars, social events, and vendors, plus one uterus-shaped 24-hour pool. And who doesn't love that? It's Derby Summer Camp every July. RollerCon, a great sponsor of the Big O. Thank them for their support. And if you are watching this but planning to come to the event later, don't forget to pick up your raffle ticket, because the grand prize in the raffle is 2 RollerCon MVP passes. Doesn't help you if you're watching at home from Fort Collins or anywhere else around the world.
Right.
But
I don't think they let you have the raffle tickets in Fort Collins.
it's unfortunate we can't do an internet raffle, but I'm assuming there are many, many laws against that. All right, a couple more fun facts for you about the Big O. As soon as I find that page on my sheet, here we go. Too much paper. So we have 39 teams involved in the event. You're watching 2 of them. 5 of those teams are JRDA Juniors teams. We have 17 from the WFTDA, also 4 WFTDA B teams. We have 9 MRDA teams, and we will have both the men's and women's Team USA teams playing, and a couple of modified contact junior teams. There will be a junior demonstration tomorrow evening. I believe that's at 6:30, a junior expo of the positional blocking level, kind of the level 1, level 2 of the JRDA's plan.
That's right here on track 1 as well.
That is right here on track 1. Yes, that'll be between the Emerald City is fielding a team and also the Rose City Rose Petals. Rose Petals, very good in the positional world. It speaks well for what the Rosebuds will look like in a couple of years.
Watching these juniors come up through the years, moving forward into the adult leagues, it's amazing what we're going to see in a couple of years, folks. I mean, the skill that's on the track right now is ridiculous. When you've got a kid that's 12 years old who's already got 6 years Derby experience under her belt, imagine what's going to happen when she turns 18. Well, she'll probably retire.
Exactly.
By the time
Hopefully not. Hopefully they won't all just get burned out completely and give up the sport.
18-year-old arthritic kid.
Right. There is definitely some drop-off I know I've seen as they get older and other sports take over or other schooling. But those that stay, large skill level coming up.
Yeah, it definitely is going to increase the gameplay that we're going to see out here in the future. Not that we're lacking any right now, especially here at the Big O. The huge event, these 3 games, fully ranked games, most of them, all vying for those points. It takes a lot of people to put together an event like this. I think there's 40 people on the committee for that this year, just to get this thing together, and they've done an amazing job.
That they have. This is a fabulous event every year. Again, if you can make it down to Eugene next year, by all means do so. All right, looks like we are done with our official timeout. 5-second signal has been given. Death Wish set to jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Daisy Jukes for FoCo.
Daisy Jukes juking to the outside, trying to get through this Reservoir defense. But, Death Wish coming in with a shoulder on that one, trying to knock her out. She was ready for it. Didn't get the cut on that call, but she did get it later.
Exactly. Well, almost had one and then called for it a bit later. So power jam again for the Reservoir Dolls and Death Wish.
Oh, Hops giving a jump right over the apex and through that pack. 5 points on the board for Reservoir. Death Wish doing her aerial acrobatics there.
Bashful Babe moves up to try and break things up as the passive-aggressive offense for Emerald City takes effect. 5 more points up for Death Wish.
And your Emerald City Juniors.
Death Wish approaches the pack, looks for the window, finds it, shoots through, but following her, cutting her off number, I believe that's 71, or 74, Barbie, no, 71, Sunny Days with a big shoulder check, knocking her to the outside, caused her to call off the jam. Good play.
And the power jam did end right at the end there, so we will see Reno back out to jam for the FoCo Juniors. He's hiding at the back. You can see him on the screen, just sort of Off to the edge. Juke Skywalker set to jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Wilson's blown action starts. Juke Skywalker going to the inside, gets pushed infield. He's going to get a no pass, no penalty on that one. So while he does get out in front, picking up lead jammer for FoCo.
And Rose Hips slowing down Reno a little bit, but not quite enough. Juke Skywalker also out of the pack and giving chase as the Reservoir Dolls starting to try and race the pack ahead. Pack getting split up a bit. Reno squeezes off the run by number 27, Lethal Ivy.
Looks like he got 2 points on that one.
He did, picked up the point for the blocker in the penalty box. I believe that sitting in the box is number 2612, Mr. Pink.
Yes, that is Mr. Pink in the penalty box at the start of this next jam. So it's going to be pack advantage going to, well,
to neither team. As Cherry
neither,
Bomb also
yeah.
sits in the penalty box for the FoCo Juniors.
Hiding behind a ref on that one. Hey, but coming out on top, picking up that lead jammer, number 1-3. That's going to be Psychotic Angel out there for the Reservoir Dolls. 28 Death Down Under. New jammer record for FoCo. Has her initial pass out of the way.
Finally, the two jammer rotation ends after 13 straight jams. And understandable. Huge shoulder shot right at the end.
2 points getting picked up by Reservoir on that one. The fourth whistle hadn't been blown yet, so FoCo did get 1 point on that. Emerald.
Death Down Under hopping up with the finger wrist. Like, I got my point. You threw the shoulder, but I still got in front of you.
Emerald sitting at 26, Spartans 14. Real low scoring game so far. We've got about 20 minutes left in the first period. Put a little defensive skate on out there. Death Wish throwing her hips out there, trying to hold back Reno on the jam line. FoCo knocking her down here on turn number 2, getting her to the infield, forcing her to recycle back behind number 201, Baby. In the meantime, Reno does get out on his initial pass.
But not lead jammer. He had the no pass, no penalty, and so that was waved off. But he is picking up 5 points on that first pass, scoring pass through the pack.
All right, now pushing her way through, picking up lead jammer status. We have Reservoir Dolls Death Wish calling off the jam, but not before FoCo picks up 1 more point on that way. Chopping away at the deficit, only 12 points separating these two teams.
Good awareness by Death Wish, realizing she was lead jammer and wisely calling off the jam. I think perhaps a little encouragement from the crowd, but what are you going to do? Bashful Babe jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Death Down Under on the line for Spartans.
Death Down Under looking for a window on the inside, followed up by Bashful Babe. Bashful Babe getting knocked about a bit as Death Down Under comes through, picking up lead. Bashful Babe throwing the shoulders, getting knocked around by this FoCo defense up front. Trying to find that window. She does get knocked to the infield, rolls back onto the track, gives her a cut track penalty. In the meantime, Death Down Under is rolling through, picking up another 5 in the sky grand slam.
And that takes us to Emerald City 43, FoCo Spartans 30, a 13-point game.
Death Down Under's not done yet in this power jam. She's working her way around that track. Big shoulder being thrown there by Move Fasta as she skates through for a big 5-point pass.
Lethal Ivy also working on that last line of defense, but not able to hold her down. Beautiful.
Ooh, coming in with a shoulder, but 28 braces it by, putting another 5-point on the board. This could be the jam that changes the race for both of these teams. 43-40.
And through for another 5 as the power jam comes to an end and FoCo shifts back to defense.
But with that last pass, we have a lead chain, 45 Spartans, 43 Emerald. So the pressure is definitely on right now for Bashful Babe to get through and try to get some points on the board. On her initial pass, getting through that FoCo defense. totally aware of that. Death Down Under calls off the jam before any points are picked up by Reservoir. 4 more going on the board for Emerald, increasing their lead to 6 points, 49-43. That was a great jam
that
for
was a
FoCo.
very good jam. They had some very good offensive blocking. I noticed Sunny Days doing a good side-to-side movement to open a lane.
Well, just like that, you can see penalties are definitely a big part of what's happening in this game right now, because if Reservoir had not gotten that penalty, that lead change may not have happened. It was the power jam that really picked it up for the Spartans.
True. Psychotic Angel now jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Reno for the Spartans.
Mr. Pink up front, leading the defense on that one, but it's not going to be enough. Coming out on top is going to be Reno.
Second straight lead jammer for the FoCo Spartans. And Reno grabs his 4 points, calls off the jam, hands the star off to number 71, Sunny Days, jamming for the first time in this game.
Spartans definitely trying to continue on with this momentum that they got in the last couple jams.
And I think we're about to get a timeout call as Emerald's coach standing by the timer, watching the clock tick down. 5 seconds rolls, and he blows for the timeout.
Looks like that's going to be a timeout.
Coach B likes to wait until as much time is gone before calling the timeout.
Take it while you can get it. Right?
Exactly. Did that yesterday, not using the official review because you may need that later in the half, but wanting to stop some of this momentum shift. As we saw with the Spartans, 2 straight lead jammers and a couple of big jams. Well, 1 big jam and a smaller one. But
well, it's definitely the right time to do it before FoCo gets too far ahead. Right now we're only separated by 10 points, so Reservoir wants to get their game together. They're going to have a quick huddle and say, hey, what's going on? Keep it clean, keep on the track, let's keep making points.
Exactly. And let's thank Hit This Derby Gear. Derby owned and operated. Before you hit the track, hit this. You can visit their store in Salem, Oregon, if you happen to be going through Salem, Oregon, or you can go online, hitthisderbygear.com.
So let me say this about Hit This Derby Gear.
Please do.
We just talked about Bonds.
We did.
Hit This sells Bonds.
Really?
Funny thing is there's a box of Bonds buried here somewhere. But the thing is, super helpful. We had a lot of questions about sizing, had a lot of questions about what's going to work best for a specific junior skater. And she was more than willing to help me through the entire process. Great group of people over there at Hit This.
Excellent. Death Wish jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Sunny Days for FoCo.
And breaking through, picking up the nod, number 71, Sunny Days, is the lead jammer in this jam.
And on a power jam is Death Wish heading to the penalty box for cutting the track. Not, I don't think, what Coach B wanted coming out of that timeout.
I don't think that was the talk that they had, no. But Sunny Days is going to make the most out of this power jam situation. Calling off the jam right now gives them the opportunity to have a power start in this next jam, as Death Wish just started her penalty in that box, so she's going to have to finish off that 30 seconds.
Well, she did. Sunny Days bumped to the ground. Perhaps not aware of the penalty, not sure, but either way, a solid call-off, hands off the start of Reno. Reno, as we've seen already in this game, very quick skater. So the stress will be on the Emerald defense to hold him steady and kill this penalty.
Reno aggressively attacking these 4 blockers up front. Reservoir doing what they can to knock him to the outside, but he's got a last line of defense out there right now. Number 11, Bashful Babe's got to let him cut through as he picks up lead.
Barbie Hurl rolling forward to put a little last sting on, but again, not quite enough to stop him.
That's a full 4-wall out there right now for the Reservoir Dolls.
And it is. Death Wish, meanwhile, out of the penalty box and re-engaged as FoCo rolls through for 5 points. Nice hop, apex jump, lands in bounds with 1 foot, takes a couple extra steps, keeping him in. Calls off the jam. Reno 9 total on the jam. That extends the FoCo Spartans lead out now 64-43, up by 21.
21 points separating these two teams with about 9 minutes left in the first half. FoCo definitely keeping up with that momentum.
And they will send out Death Down Under to jam again against Rose Hips for the Reservoir Dolls in black.
Rose Hips looking for that crack in the armor, and she finds it as she breaks through the front of this pack, getting that lead nod, but hot on her heels and passing her up in turn number 4. That's going to be Death Down Under. She put the pressure on her and forces her to call off the jam before any points are scored by either one of these jammers.
And Reno rolls back out and says, I thought I was getting a little more of a break than that. That was like 37 seconds.
No rest for the wicked, buddy.
No, I remember being a teenage boy. I had a lot of energy.
Right. I wish I had some of that now.
I know.
Hey, we got Psychotic Angel out there for the Reservoir Dolls, and she's going to be facing off once again. Reno. Whistle's blown. Psychotic Angel with a hip check, trying to send Reno to the outside, but he's not having it. Gets back in and aggressively attacks the Emerald defense up front as they put on that diamond defensive wall. Holding his line on the outside, but he does get one skate out, so he recycles back. But finding a window of opportunity on the outside and picking up the lead nod, we're going to go with the Reservoir Dolls Psychotic Angel.
Excellent defensive work by Emerald on this jam, just locking things down and holding it up. Number 16, Juke Skywalker, key part of that middle defense. The Psychotic Angel hops the apex and grabs 4 points, I think.
4 points as FoCo was out, but again, Emerald's defense doing a great job holding them back all the way around this track to turn 4 until finally he broke free on that one.
And we reset with Death Wish jamming again for the Reservoir Dolls. Sunny Days set for FoCo. This is Sunny Day's second jam so far this game. She had the lead last time.
Death Wish trying to hold that line on the outside over here as the defense is swarming up. She finds a window, goes from the outside to the in, picking up that lead jammer nod for the Reservoir Dolls once again. Sunny Days getting knocked down over by turn number 3, pushing her way through, fighting through the pack, getting her initial pass out of the way.
Death Wish bump to the outside, had to recycle back. Now rolls through, checks with the bench, and calls off the jam. 4-0 run. And Emerald's now up to 51-64.
Chomping away at the deficit. 13 points separating these two teams right now. This is definitely what they wanted to do, build up the momentum on the side of Emerald. Try to keep them going as they go in. Looking forward to the second half.
We are, and only we've got 5 minutes and 48 seconds to go in this half. And we will see Gallifrey jamming for the first time for Emerald City against Reno.
Gallifrey pushing through, making short change of the defense from FoCo, picking up that lead jammer nod. Reno getting knocked to the outside down on turn number 2 by number 33. That's going to be Slam Shady.
And beautiful work with the run back as well, and Reno's awareness that the run back was happening and not picking up the cut, but it does slow him down enough to let Gallifrey grab the lap point for 5.
Gallifrey pushes through, throws her hips behind the pack. No points on that pass as she calls off the jam, but holds FoCo to 0 on that jam.
Yep, Gallifrey thinking she might get some, but she was hip checked out before she made it past anyone and out of bounds for the other passes. She will hand the star off to Psychotic Angel for the Reservoir Dolls, who will square off with Death Down Under for the Junior Spartans.
Very close game. We're almost out of time on the clock for this first half.
Whistle blow to action starts. Psychotic Angel running through the center of this pack, looking for a window of opportunity, but it's going to be number 28, Death Down Under, who's going to come up with a nod on that one. Picking up lead jammer, she fights her way through the inside line.
Not too far behind is Psychotic Angel for Reservoir.
And Psychotic Angel out of the pack as well.
Psychotic Angel picking up a penalty, actually. It's going to be a low block penalty. She's going to go to the box for the next 30 seconds. So that means we got a power jam situation once again in favor of FoCo Junior. Death Down Under, number 28, going to try and rack and stack some points. And just like that, there's 5 in the sky for FoCo, increasing their lead.
Emerald City was trying to run away with it a bit, but FoCo wisely sending some blockers up to slow people down and capture them. Now FoCo moving into an offensive move. Daisy Jukes trying to open the door, not able to.
That Reservoir defense, last line of defense out there right now, trying to hold her back.
That was Live and Let Cry, who picks up the out-of-play blocking penalty and heads to the penalty box.
She tried a little too hard on that one.
Exactly.
Hey, but 28, she's back in.
Psychotic Angel back in the game and then picks up another penalty as she cuts the track. So the double power jam for the Spartans. Spartans currently at 79 points.
I believe that happened last time that Death Down Under was out there. She
did have the
yeah, it was a double penalty power jam for her as well. So she's calling off the jam right now before Reservoir is able to come out of the box. Psychotic Angel is going to start out this next jam in the penalty box. That's going to give Reno the opportunity at another power start, which with 2.5 minutes left in the first half is pretty much where they want to be at.
That they do, and they're currently sitting on the lead 82-56. 26 points, if my math is right.
Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, announcer math says it's correct. Yeah.
I need a special announcer calculator. 4-on-3 advantage for the Spartans.
Fighting his way through number 257. That's going to be Reno picking up the lead nod in this power start. Poised and ready to go, though. We've got Psychotic Angel in the box looking to come through. In the meantime, we got 5 points going up for FoCo.
And the pack bleed continues for Emerald City as Tipsy Terror heads to the penalty box. So now 4-on-2. The Psychotic Angel out of the box and now through on her initial pass.
5 in the sky once again for FoCo.
Reno does a little breakdance backspin in the middle of the track as he rolls in, but does get 2 points.
If you're getting taken to the infield, you better do it with style.
There you have it. I would just do it with tears.
And an EMT.
Yeah, immediate call for the medic. So 3-on-3 in the pack as Tipsy Terror and Baby both sit in the penalty box, jamming next. Death Wish for the Reservoir Dolls. Crazy Diva jamming for the first time for FoCo.
Death Wish going up, gets his 3-ball, gets knocked down on turn number 1. Shoots to the inside, but she holds her line. Last line of defense trying to stop her right now. That's going to be number 8, Abriza Win, but she's got to let her go by as Reservoir picks up that lead jammer nod.
Gallifrey heading to the penalty box to thin the Reservoir Dolls back down to 3. And a star pass by FoCo as the star now with Daisy Jukes.
And hot on her heels, that is Daisy Jukes. Putting the pressure on Death Wish. Death Wish, she's coming up on her 6, calls off the jam before any more points are scored.
So a little narrowing of the lead, now 94 Fort Collins, Emerald City 61. With 22 seconds of game time in the half.
It was a little bit of a slow start for the Spartans on that. They came back with a couple of lead power jams, which definitely were a definitive moment for Spartans in this game. Building up some momentum, they kind of kept on that momentum, and Emerald has been fighting back since.
And Emerald City taking another timeout. Coach B out to call the timeout. Interestingly, not using his official review for the half, but actually using a full-on timeout. When we reset, looks like Juke Skywalker will be jamming for the Reservoir Dolls against Reno for the FoCo Junior Derby. Reno has been in 15 jams so far this game. He and Cherry Bomb both not quite leading the way. Baby with FoCo, 17 jams skated, and that leads all skaters. Meanwhile, on the Emerald City side, the most they have, it looks like, is 13. So yeah, that short roster for Fort Collins. These kids are getting a workout.
Yeah, they definitely are. At that, Reno being the, well, between Reno and Death Down Under, 43 points apiece.
Definitely, yes, leading all scorers. Death Wish is your lead scorer for the Reservoir Dolls. She is sitting at 30, followed closely by Psychotic Angel with 26.
All right, we still have a slight pack advantage in favor of the Reservoir. I'm sorry, in favor of FoCo. Gallifrey still in the box. Up front, Reno looking for a window of opportunity to get through this pack. Juke Skywalker back here getting held up by that FoCo defense. Coming out in front, though, that's going to be Reno.
Assisted a little bit by the multiplayer block penalty assessed to Ambassador. So she will end the half sitting in the box and start the second half, possibly also depending on how long this jam runs.
Gallifrey coming out with a big hip check on Reno, sending him to the outside down on turn number 1.
And that will take us to halftime. At the half, the FoCo Spartans in the lead, 94, Emerald City Reservoir Dolls 61. We will be taking a 10-ish minute break. And we'll come back to recap the game and move into the second half. Thank you for watching the Big O on WFTDA.tv.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
The Area's Platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Area's Platinum, performance redefined.
I love teamwork when it comes naturally, and it's almost like your teammate is an extension of your own body. That anticipation, where you've worked cerebrally through strategy and skills, and suddenly you're out there in a game and it all comes naturally because you know each other. I love that.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antic AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and Atom D-Rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear.
I'm Doubled Megs, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor, and I'm a fast girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Afro Jamla, and I'm a fast girl.
You can be a fast girl too.
Skaters, lost your mouth guard? Hit this. Time for an upgrade? Hit this. New to Derby and not sure where to start? Hit this. We are Derby owned and operated with 6 years of experience. Hit This Derby Gear can hook you up with skates, gear, and honest advice based on your skating style and individual needs. Visit us at our store in Salem, Oregon, or online at www.hitthisderbygear.com. Whether you are a new or veteran skater, before you hit the track, hit this.
Hi folks, Skull Eagle here. Have you had a chance to take a look at the new Bonk Quadstar skate? The boots are ultra lightweight with no break-in period and are great for skaters with skinnier ankles. They also have a 100% Australian full-grain leather outer and a completely heat-moldable hand-laid fiberglass base. Get that premium performance without the premium price tag. Boom. Come over to the Bonk booth right now and check out this rad new skate.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program. Roller Derby Athletics takes the guesswork out of off-skate training, helping you become safe, strong, and unstoppable. Here's what skaters from around the world are saying.
Lots of great advice and things that helped me after I broke my ankle and had
I've lost 90 pounds and discovered my A game.
Love that site and the
workouts.
Rehab has been amazing. It's really worth the investment in her
Booty Quake
programs.
rocks. You won't regret the investment.
Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program and transform your game with Roller Derby Athletics.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today testing helmets to see if they pass the Multiple Impact Certification Test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. There's a soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner. There's a hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS Fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS Fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
A lot of very impressive people in roller derby.
This was definitely a proud moment for me, wearing the black, white, and red.
I care about this thing more than I care about any other article of clothing in my wardrobe.
This represents to me like 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
Glitter is fun and hardcore. I've learned that it's hardcore.
My uniform is always in pristine condition.
My truck is purple, my shoes are purple, my underwear are purple.
It takes a lot of drive and a lot of passion to keep going in roller derby.
Sometimes when you play roller derby, you're just kind of like, why am I doing this? This is so weird.
I just can't imagine that I'd get more kicks like playing golf than I do hitting a you know? Feels good.
My name is Rachel Rotten.
My name is Midge Wilhelm.
I'm Fifi Nomenon.
I'm Jackie Daniels.
My name's Steph Maney.
Hi, I'm Scald Eagle.
And S1.
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 And S1 is part of my uniform.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
The area's platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Arius Platinum, performance redefined.
I love teamwork when it comes naturally, and it's almost like your teammate is an extension of your own body. That anticipation, where you've worked cerebrally through strategy and skills, and suddenly you're out there in a game and it all comes naturally because you know each other. I love that.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antec AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and add-on D-rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear.
I'm Double Megs, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor, and I'm a fast girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Afro Jamline, and I'm a fast girl.
You can be a fast girl too.
Skaters, lost your mouth guard? Hit this. Time for an upgrade? Hit this. New to Derby and not sure where to start? Hit this. We are Derby owned and operated with 6 years of experience. Hit This Derby Gear can hook you up with skates, gear, and honest advice based on your skating style and individual needs. Visit us at our store in Salem, Oregon, or online at www.hitthisderbygear.com. Whether you are a new or veteran skater, before you hit the track, hit this.
Hi folks, Scald Eagle here. Have you had a chance to take a look at the new Bonk Quadstar skate? The boots are ultra lightweight with no break-in period and are great for skaters with skinnier ankles. They also have a 100% Australian full-grain leather outer and a completely heat-moldable hand-laid fiberglass base. Get that premium performance without the premium price tag. Boom. Come over to the Bonk booth right now and check out this rad new skate.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program. Roller Derby Athletics takes the guesswork out of off-skate training, helping you become safe, strong, and unstoppable. Here's what skaters from around the world are saying.
Lots of great advice and things that helped me after I broke my ankle and had
I've lost 90 pounds and discovered my A game.
Love that site and the
workouts.
rehab has been amazing. It's really worth the investment in her
Booty Quake
programs.
rocks. You won't regret the investment.
Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program and transform your game with Roller Derby Athletics.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today, testing helmets to see if they pass.
And we are back on track 1 here at the Big O. Sorry, Dan, in your S1 Helmets ad for cutting you off.
He gets enough airtime anyways.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to talk to Dan.
So after the half, we left things with FoCo in the lead. Looking at some stats, Death Wish had the lead 7 out of 11 times for the Reservoir Dolls. Reno, 8 of 15 lead jammers. Emerald City had lead 13 times, FoCo 14 times. And looking at the penalty board, no one in too severe trouble. Daisy Jukes with FoCo does have 4 penalties. Everyone else with 2 or 1. And over on the Reservoir Dolls side, fairly clean. The numbers totaling probably moderately high, but their lead penalty getter, Deathwish, with 3, everyone else with 2 or 1.
Definitely build up on the momentum for FoCo at the end of the last half if you are just tuning into this. Reservoir came out on top at the beginning, really throwing the hammer down, but FoCo got their momentum picked up. It kind of held that for the last 10 minutes of the first half, and you can see that in the score, 96-61. 35 points separating these two teams. Coming out to start the next half, we've got Reno on the line for FoCo, facing off against Psychotic Angel. Psychotic Angel finding a win on the inside. She's your lead jammer. And it's going to be a power jam. Reno going to be sent to the box. I believe it was a low block penalty.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, he's going to have 30 seconds in there while Psychotic Angel works her way around the track, fakes left, breaks right, picks up 5 for Reservoir.
That is definitely the start the Reservoir Dolls wanted to begin this half. As Psychotic Angel does the finger wag in the air, hey people, skate forward and knock someone out of my way. And it works wonders as she picks up 5 points.
Well, this is exactly how they wanted to start this second half. Definitely coming in, making a mark in the first jam of this game. Putting the points on the board in this one. Final line on the outside. There's another 5 in the sky grand slam for the Reservoir Dolls.
And that takes Psychotic Angel to 41 total points for the game. Knocking on Reno's door. Reno leads all scorers with 45.
It was great track awareness on Psychotic Angel's part as she was holding that line as long as she could. Took a knee, and one skate did go to the outside of the track, so she made sure to recycle back as to not pick up that penalty. Hop, skip, and a jump through for another 5-point pass in favor of Reservoir.
And she calls off the jam, and we're down to a 15-point lead now. Spartans 96, Reservoir Dolls 81.
Reservoir definitely within striking distance now after one jam in the second half. Definitely coming out. They had a good talking to during the halftime. Everybody got their heads straight. It looks like we've got a different game going on the floor.
At least for that first jam. Deathwish set to jam for the Reservoir Dolls against Daisy Jukes for the FoCo Spartans.
Daisy coming in and aggressively attacking that 3 wall, but finding a line on the inside. That's going to be double O. Deathwish making her way through with that lead nod, but hot on her heels is Daisy Jukes. It's going to be a jammer race on the track.
It's a pack race as well as FoCo and Emerald both, and Reservoir Dolls both racing forward.
Absolutely picking up the pace. There is a pack advantage going to FoCo. 3 blockers on the track, 2 blockers out there for Emerald.
Hard for me to tell which team was driving the push forward.
Bashful coming out with a big hip check at the end of that, but I believe she picked up a penalty.
I believe she did. That might have been a low block. I saw a low block signaled. I'm not sure if Deathwish is reporting to the penalty box or not. She did have to skate the long way around, so that, I'm guessing, is what happened. Yes, looks like Deathwish picking up her 4th penalty.
Do a quick pause on the track.
Yeah, quick timeout by FoCo.
Skate maintenance, I believe.
Yes, the pit crew is out and working on Daisy Jukes' skate.
You can hear the air tools rumbling right now.
Hopefully it'll be quicker. We had I think it was the Emerald City versus what game was it yesterday? It was one of the games yesterday where the jam ref actually lost a wheel. Like, wheel took off rolling. He ended up in the middle, and the jammer he was on the lead jammer, and she was trying to call the jam off from the outside, and the guy was kneeling in the middle, and it took him a few extra seconds for the outside refs to realize what was going on.
I was watching I was announcing the men's game, Bridgetown, last night. One of the skaters lost the front 2 wheels on one of his skates. So normally we do this sport in 8, but he only had 6.
Well, he's talented, I'm sure.
Pedaling his way to the penalty box.
All right, back to the action. Deathwish starting off in the penalty box, so on a power start, Daisy Jukes.
Reservoir starting out clean, but the end of that jam picking up that penalty. So again, FoCo going to work the magic with this power jam start with 22 Daisy Jukes trying to find a line, but getting pushed to the infield, recycling back. aggressively pushing her way through those two blockers. She gets that lead jammer nod.
Perfect charge of the joint between the two jammers so that they had to let go to avoid the penalty, and pops right through. But this time they pop her right to the outside and she rolls through, so a cut track for Daisy Jukes leads to a power jam and a 2-minute jam for Death Wish and the Reservoir Dolls.
That's right. So since she lost her lead jammer status, we're going to go the full 2 minutes, which is a good thing for Death Wish. She just gets out on the track and put 5s in the sky for Reservoir.
I think that 5 may have just come down because I'm fairly certain that was her first pass.
That's kind of what I thought.
And it looks like the scoreboard didn't change, so the scorekeeper appears to have caught that.
Death Wish quite aware of where she's out of the track. She got knocked to the outside, rolled back in, fell to the ground, crawled off to make sure she didn't get the cut. Does cycle back in, round the track, pick up 5 for Reservoir.
It was just it was a matter of time. The jam ref was in a little time shift.
Just excited. She just wants to give those points.
Rigger had leaped a lap ahead.
All right, this pack is speeding up down here on the track as both of these jammers are having their little foot race, trying to see who can come out on top. We are going to go the full 2 minutes, so with that being said, these jammers are trying to get the most points out, but the blockers are doing what they can to slow that momentum down.
They are. Death Wish throwing the little hip check at Daisy Jukes, not able to make it. Now Daisy Jukes in the front. Death Wish maybe a little winded. And slowing down and waiting for the clock to run out. As that pace was seriously picking up. And again, FoCo only skating with, what, 11 skaters. So they are putting on the endurance lesson here. At the end of the jam, Spartans do break the 100-point mark, 103. Emerald Reservoir Dolls at 87. And the Reservoir Dolls send Psychotic Angel back to the line to square off with number 257, Reno from FoCo.
Reno looking for that window of opportunity, and he's going to shoot right through the middle of that pack. Picking up the lead jammer nod.
Second straight lead jammer for the Spartans. FoCo Spartans in yellow. Reservoir Dolls in black. Reno trying to take flight as he taps his hips.
Frantically calling off the jam, whipping his hands up and down.
Indeed, jam ref was checking in with another ref and not full eyes on him the whole time.
No points were picked up by Emerald, though. 4 points did get picked up on Spartans, and I believe they've broken the century mark with 107. Spartans 87 Emerald, so we're 20 points.
Indeed, I think Reno thought that the Reservoir Doll jammer was a little closer to the back than they were, and that's why he was getting more frantic.
A little worked up.
That, or he just wanted to go sit down because he's jammed like 900 times.
Yeah, but he's definitely earning the points. 49 up there for Reno. Right now we got Gallifrey on the line, and just like that, picking up lead jammer for Reservoir. And the Reservoir defense doing an amazing job right now, holding back Death Down Under. Death Down Under looking for a crack of that armor to break on through, trying to get a little help from her friends, but Gallifrey slides on by for 5 in the sky.
Gallifrey not being used as a jammer much in this game by the Reservoir Dolls, but this is a very solid jammer, as you can see from her performance here. She was jammed once in the first half and picked up lead then as well.
Cooking through the pack once again, calling it off with 4 more on the board. I believe that was a 14-point jam for her. Holding the Spartans at 0 on that one.
And that takes us to 96-107 as Emerald creeping back in with 22 and a half minutes to go in the game. Next jam, we'll see Reno with the star for the Spartans and Psychotic Angel for the Reservoir Dolls. This is the third time these two have squared off against each other in this half. And we're only 6 jams in.
Trying to hold that line on the inside. Number 13, Psychotic Angel, pushes her way through. Fights her way to the top, getting the lead jammer nod, hot on her heels. Reno breaking out on his initial pass as well.
Oh, Psychotic Angel signals, but Reno jumps and lands it before the whistles go off. 4 points for the Spartans, a 4-0 run it appears. As I think Psychotic Angel getting hit out right before she was able to pick up any points, and when she called that jam off. So 111.96.
And we got Bashful Babe out there once again for the Reservoir Dolls, facing off against Crazy Diva.
This is Crazy Diva's second jam of the day. She jammed right towards the end of the first half.
Bashful Babe holding the line on the outside, pushes her way through past Baby, picking up the lead jammer nod.
Baby and Death Down Under both trying to stop her, but Bashful Babe just too quick on the outside.
That's FoCo defense, walled up tight on turn number 3. Forcing her to call off the jam before any points do get picked up by FoCo. 2 getting picked up by the Reservoir Dolls. That's a 12-point game right there. 111 Spartans, 99 Emerald on the cusp of breaking the century mark themselves.
And let's thank Roller Derby Solutions. Get your league on track so you can focus on skating. Roller Derby Solutions.
That's going to be Juke Skywalker on the line for the Reservoir Dolls, facing off against, guess who, Reno. Reno's definitely earned his keep here at the Big O, pushing his way through this defense. Finding a window, he gets through, gets the lead jammer nod, but I believe they're going to take that away as he gets called for a high block.
I think he's not sure what's going on. Now he's heading to the box. He went off, came back on, noticed that his jam ref wasn't there.
He's taking the scenic route.
That must have been it. Juke Skywalker picks up the 5 points. Tells his team, get moving. And Mr. Pink shoves Razor to the side and then takes a huge shoulder from Sunny Days.
This is a power jam situation with pack advantage going to Emerald. As Reservoir's got all their skaters on the track. Only 2 blockers out there for FoCo. So making the most out of it.
That it wasn't. Juke Skywalker sees Reno standing up in the penalty box, calls off the jam. And we have a lead change. Reservoir Dolls now jumping ahead with that power jam, 112. Spartans, 111.
FoCo Spartans at 111, 1 point currently between these 2 teams.
This is definitely a great game, a really good way to start the Big O on day 2. These junior teams evenly matched up, going back and forth with the points. Now with Reservoir Dolls coming out on top, 1 point ahead.
And the Spartans are taking their second team timeout. Good time to regroup. We'll see. We saw that from Emerald in the first half where they took a timeout after Spartans came up ahead. We'll see how it works for the FoCo team. Once again, don't forget today our Big O coverage featuring the first roller derby doubleheader on ESPN3 of the year. The 2015 WFTDA champions Rose City Rollers take on your number 2 ranked Victorian Roller Derby League. And that will be followed by top 10 Texas Roller Girls versus Angel City Derby Girls, challenging for some top ranking spots. WFTDA.tv/ESPN will get you all your access details. Should be both of them epic games. Victorian coming out this year, once again, very tight on the defense. They hold Bay Area to 11 points in the first half of that game.
That was a crazy game. I heard all about it. I was on the highway at the time, but power start right now for the Reservoir Dolls. So we're going to have Psychotic Angel out there, only jammer on record at the start of this jam. But joining her right now, Reno, number 257, hop, skip, and a jump over that apex. He's going to be picking up lead jammer.
Bashful Babe trying to throw the shoulder into Reno right before he took off, but he shrugged that off to land the jump.
Psychotic Angel working her way around the track right now. Reno seeing her coming around the corner. He calls off the jam after picking up 4 big points for FoCo.
Reno super quick through the pack on that pass. Again, saw the line between the 2 blockers and hit it exactly where he needed to. to break through for the 4, and that puts the Spartans back up 115-112. And we reset with Death Wish jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, Daisy Jukes for the FoCo Spartans. As the crowd, more people trickling in as they get ready for our next game, or our rival versus Rat City. They get to enjoy a great junior game right before.
22, Daisy Jukes pushing her way through the center of this pack, picking up lead jammer status for the FoCo Junior. In the meantime, we're back here looking at Deathwish trying to fight her way through this FoCo defense that's putting her to a standstill on turn number 3.
Daisy Jukes back up, spins around, checks. Yes, you're out of play. I'll come in front of you. And then leisurely stroll past the rest of the pack. Picks up 3 points with the no pass, no penalty. Checks with the bench, calls off the jam. And now we have our first official review of the game. Coach B out to question something of great importance. Hopefully the referees, they were using the microphone yesterday. Hopefully they will pass these things on to us as well.
That tends to happen a lot when a jammer gets hit out of bounds.
But we'll thank all the photographers for contributing their time and effort to shoot the Big O. You can see all of their pictures all over the social medias, and a big thank out. Wow.
All of that.
I've
thank
made up
out,
a new word.
in.
To Steve Sharkey Mancini, he organized all the talented crew. He is a great photographer with Rose City, so he is doing very well.
Big shout out to the tech team here. Big O tech team doing what they do, making it available for you at home to see all the action happening here on 3 tracks all weekend long at the Big O.
And if you want to participate from home, don't feel you're left out. You can tag things with hashtag Big O Cats or hashtag Big O Dogs if you want to send in a picture of your cat and or dog enjoying the Big O from your house.
Shout out to one of our sponsors, Skates.
If I had a cat or dog, I would probably do that.
I'm sure my basset
All right,
hound
here
at
comes
home
our
is
ref
sleeping.
Sorry, go ahead.
Black is reviewing a lack of low block call by Yellow 71 on Black Jammer.
All right, so Emerald to the Reservoir Dolls requesting that review. They felt that Sunny Days should have picked up a low block penalty for a hit on their jammer. In addition, for those to those hashtags, we also have hashtag Best of Big O 2016. If you want to search that, you can find people's votes for the best of photos. This will be on the Instagrams. You can submit your photos as well. I'm guessing you could do it from home, like take a picture of the screen. I don't know. For the best of tournament, help capture the amazing essence of the event. That hashtag on Instagram, hashtag Best of Big O 2016, will nominate each of these categories. You got your best bout fit, best skates, best shoes, best fan. And now we have the results of our official review.
After reviewing the play, referees determined that there was no standing action. There was no clear initiator. They lose their official review.
All right. So the official review not upheld. Emerald has used it for the game.
You use it or lose it. If you use it and they agree, you get to hang on to it. But unfortunately, they did not agree with this official review, so they do lose it for this half.
They do, and they don't retain it for time management either. So Emerald now sitting with 1 timeout. Spartans also have the 1 timeout, but they also have their official review remaining.
Looks like we got Gallifrey on the line once again for Reservoir. Going to be facing off against Reno for FoCo. Reno coming up right down the middle, looking for a window. Gallifrey doing the same thing, trying to push her way through, but it's going to be Reno shooting to the outside, finding that line and holding it as he picks up that lead jammer nod from the ref.
And Gallifrey clears the pack a half a lap back. Reno takes a shoulder from Mufasta. Bumped out of bounds, calls off the jam. I see the jam ref checking in with the outside pack, and 3 points roll up for FoCo, so that takes them to 122 and a 10-point lead.
Halfway through the second half of this game, and we're still at a 10-point separation. These kids, this is a great game. This is a real tight race we're having out here on the track. We got Psychotic Angel once again facing off against Death Down Under. Psychotic Angel getting pushed to the outside by turn number 1, while Death Down Under is up front, looking to push her way through that Reservoir defense, and just like that she does, putting that big L in the sky, makes her the lead jammer.
And in that, number 22, Daisy Jukes, was backing up Psychotic Angel and got a little too far back, so she picks up the out-of-play penalty. And the Spartans down to 3 blockers as the pack again racing forward.
Picking up the pace down here. Death Down Under trying to get through for a few more points. Skates backwards, gets her hips out there, picks up 3 before calling off the jam, putting 1 on the board for Reservoir.
Good work with that backwards skating, thrust out the rear side, get the hips in front. And call it off. We will reset with Bashful Babe jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. Reno back on the line for FoCo. This is Reno's 22nd jam of the game. Still behind Baby. Baby has jammed in 25.
Yeah, he really should pick up the pace. I mean, that's just being lazy. You know what? It doesn't look like he started his all. He did get pushed to the infield. Comes back in front of 3 other skaters. That's going to be a cut track penalty, which means we have a power jam situation out there for Bashful Babe, who happens to be the lead jammer in this jam.
Reservoir Dolls playing passive to start with, send 1 skater forward. But Baby also not tired after her 25 jams. Slowing down, but Bashful Babe finally through for 5.
Bashful kind of catching him sleeping there. Baby pushing her skater into Bashful Babe, but Babe pushes it off as she puts 5 points on the board.
Back advantage now to Fort Collins as they have 4 blockers on the track. Deathwish sitting a penalty in the box. That is her 5th, so she only has 2 more to go before she is out of the game. As Reno out of the box and back through the pack. Daisy Jukes on the FoCo side, by the way, sitting on 6 penalties. So her next foul will have her out of the game, and that will take the FoCo juniors down to 10 skaters.
Bashful does pick up 5 more points before calling off that jam, which does give them the lead now. Again, 3 points ahead of the Spartans. And we're going to field Gallifrey on the line for Reservoir Dolls. She's going to face off against Death Down Under once again, who herself has only skated 20 jams in this game. Death Down Under finding a window of opportunity, pushing her way through. Last line of defense up there, Mr. Pink. He's joined by number 1-6, but she's going to break on through to put that lead jammer status on the line for FoCo.
Jukes, Skywalker, and Mr. Pink trying to team up to slow her down, not quite able to, as Gallifrey hung up by the FoCo defense.
FoCo's defense definitely tightening up in the second half. You can see that in just about jam after jam as they're holding back that Reservoir jammer, making them work for every inch that they get on the track.
That they are. Jam was called off, no points awarded. So Emerald still with their 3-point lead as we're now under 13 minutes to go in the game. Psychotic Angel set to jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Reno back out for the Spartans. Psychotic Angel lead scorer for the Reservoir Dolls with 48. Reno leading all scorers with 60 points in the game.
Who came out on top? That was a tight one. Number 1-3 Psychotic Angel picks up the nod, but passing her by just as she established the lead jammer status. Reno jumps ahead of her, so she's going to call off the jam before any points are picked up on that one. Reno, I mean, this guy does not stop. 23 jams out there, and he's still just going strong.
Reservoir Dolls pass the star to Bashful Babe. And on the FoCo side, Reno skates back around and lines up again. Because, really, why not?
Right? He's only scored 60 points in this game for his team, so he's just feeling a little left out.
He's got 12 minutes left. He could get another 40.
Hey, Bashful Babe comes out on top on that one. Once again, Reno says, I'm not letting up. Puts the wheels to heels on this one as he gets right up on Bashful Babe.
Bashful Babe signaling her team to rush ahead. They not able to do so and catch up. Calls off the jam. And Reno finally takes a break and passes the star to Crazy Diva. Number 20, skating most of the game as a blocker, but she has been in for 22 of our jams. Rose Hips set to jam for the Reservoir Dolls.
Rose coming up the center, looking to push her way through. Looks like Crazy Diva's trying to fight her way through this defense up front, but it's going to be Rose that's going to get it. 18th shoots to the outside, finds a window of opportunity to pick up the lead jammer nod.
And each team sending one skater to the box. We've got Breeza Wind heading for FoCo and Mufasta for the Reservoir Dolls.
Crazy Diva does get out on her initial pass. So what we're going to see here, Rose Hips fighting her way through to pick up some points. Totally aware where the FoCo jammer's at. She's going to call off before the team in yellow picks up any points, but she does gain 4 for Emerald.
And that stretches Emerald's lead out now 132 to 125, a 7-point lead as we tick down to the 10-minute mark in the game. And the Reservoir Dolls send out Psychotic Angel number 13 to jam against Reno. Number 257 for the FoCo juniors in yellow.
Psychotic Angels picked up 48 points for the Reservoir Dolls. She's been the lead point scorer for this team in this game. Hot on the heels of Reno, though, not going to let up on him. Reno does pick up the lead jammer.
And that breaks his 3 straight jam string of lead jammers for the Reservoir Dolls. Reno, beautiful hip whip assist from number 71, Sunny Days. But he only grabs 3, and Psychotic Angel sneaks in with 4. I think Reno was bumped a bit outside. He was starting to call off the jam as he rolled out of bounds. So that takes us 136 to 128.
And we're going to field Rose Hips once again out there with Death Down number 28 for FoCo. That's a full track. 4 on the floor for the defensive skaters.
And that, as soon as you said it, multiplayer block sends number 33, Slam Shady, to the penalty box. That will be her 5th penalty, I believe.
Rose Hips trying to fight her way through that FoCo defense. It's locked up tight on her, pushing her to the outside on turn number 3. In the meantime, Death Down Under sliding on by for 5 in the sky, picking up that 5-point pass.
And a beautiful hop on it. Juke Skywalker also sent to the box. That was just his first penalty of the game, but it brings the Emerald City Reservoir Dolls back down to 2, and 2 much harder to stop.
Rose Hips getting a big hip check to her by 077 Cherry Bomb down here on turn number 2. She goes to the outside and recycles behind the pack, followed up by Mojo Jojo, number 1618 for FoCo, hitting her to the infield while Death Down Under racks and stacks those points with another 5-point pass.
And Rose Hips now has the star off the helmet, trying to pass it off, but her pivot well to the front. This time Juke Skywalker doing a bunch of damage in the middle of the pack, but no one following him through. And Baby there with the shoulder check a little bit too high, as the star has been passed off to Tipsy Terror.
Daisy Jukes with a big shoulder on that one. Respectable hit to Tipsy.
But 4 more points up for FoCo as the jam is called off and the lead shifts again. Now Spartans up 147 to 136 after that big jam.
You can never get too comfortable with who's in the lead on this one. Going back and forth and back and forth. Only 11 points separating these two teams. It's an amazing game by both of these teams out here today. And this is what we're seeing all over the place at the Big O.
Oh, yeah. There have been some very good games. A couple of blowouts, but generally very good games that I've seen, at least. I see Coach B out for Emerald. It does not have an official review. It looks like he signaled a timeout because the timeouts appear to be off the board, at least on the scoreboard that we're looking at.
Spinning the tunes for us this weekend, DJ Agent Meow. Doing an amazing job keeping these skaters entertained and the audience and the staff, many of which are putting on the dance party.
Always good to have the audience dance party, even if it's only 2 people and they don't show up on the stream.
Hey, you didn't need to tell them.
I didn't. That's
for all
true.
I knew,
I
there
could
was
have told.
30.
Oh, see, you're right. Well, they can see part of the crowd. It's just the part that's sitting down watching roller derby.
We actually have a dance party section that you guys don't know. There's a disco ball. It's pretty crazy. Fire
it's pretty awesome.
breathing
You should
flamingos.
totally come down. And speaking of our stream, big thanks to Tybach Production Services for filming and live streaming the events today, and to the WFTDA for their WFTDA.tv carrying the stream. All good, and I'd like to thank Flat Mat Roller Derby. You can get 16% off this weekend online. The code is Big O16, hence the 16%. FlatMatRollerDerby.com. Do yoga and be even more badass with Flat Mat Yoga. Created for skaters, by skaters.
And that's actually what it says.
It
be
is,
even more badass.
There was almost a dance party on the track. Mr. Pink doing some spins. There we go. Oh, but now he's just getting into position. I see how it is. Death Wish set to jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Reno for FoCo. FoCo with 1 skater, Baby, sitting in the penalty box on that high block penalty from the last jam. Currently, each team, Daisy Juke sitting with 6 penalties. Death Wish with 5.
We got a short stack on the track. Like you say, 1 blocker from each team sitting out on this one. Whoa, finding a window coming through, battling out that defense from FoCo. We got Death Wish picking up that lead jammer.
And 1 enters, 1 leaves. Baby out of the penalty box while a breeze of wind heads into it. So still 3 blockers on the track for FoCo, and they are racing it forward. Sunny Days able to stay far enough ahead.
Deathwish had to work for those 3 points as they picked up the pace on that pack. Hopefully she was trying to call off the jam before he got picked up on FoCo. FoCo did score 2 points on that jam.
And that takes us a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go in the game. Spartans 149, Reservoir Dolls 139.
Psychotic Angel out there on the line facing off against Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb looking for a window on the inside, and she's going to find it as she picks up that lead jammer nod from the ref.
Cherry Bomb now 100% lead jammer since this was her first jam of the game as jammer. She's jammed 27 of them, but this is the first time with the star on her hat. Gets a little shove assist from Baby. Calls off the jam, picks up 2 points. That stretches us out to an 11. Oh, hang on. Emerald grabbed a couple as well, so it's only a 9-point lead. Really should look at both refs before I start talking about the score. Now we're going to square off with Juke Skywalker versus Reno.
Reno working every inch of this track laterally, trying to find that window of opportunity to get through. Holds the line on the inside as he picks up lead jammer. Juke Skywalker with 1 skater left, fakes left, breaks right, cuts around the outside.
I think I know where he got his name. He just juked her out of her skates.
Big pileup happening down here on turn number 1. 2 points getting picked up by FoCo.
It's a little pile up between Barbie Hurl and Gallifrey, and Gallifrey ends up tripping right in front of Reno, and I think that's going to send her to the penalty box on the low block. It is, so both pivots in the box to start off this jam with 4 minutes to go. 153 Spartans, 142 Reservoir Dolls.
Big shoulder check right there to Death Wish. Death Wish brushes it off, trying to hold the line, but she gets pushed infield. This is going to be a power jam right now. I believe you get forearm penalty on 28 as she's going to go to the box.
It was a cut track, actually.
Was it a cut track?
Could have probably been either.
Death Down Under is going to spend the next 30 seconds in the box thinking about what she did. But Death Wish is going to be the jammer on record on the track right now. And with Emerald down, this is exactly where they want to be with 3.5 minutes.
Right until Death Wish with the high block gets sent to the penalty box. So that will be her 6th penalty. Next one, and she is out of the game, so she needs to make sure that doesn't happen in this jam while she's wearing the star.
Well, you know what they say. If you don't get 6, you're not trying hard enough.
Is that what they said? It makes sense. You got them to give. Why not?
Right. So from the outside, shooting to the end. Fighting her way through. Death Down Under gets her initial pass out of the way. But Death Wish is on a scoring pass right now. She just has to get through that FoCo defense, and they're doing a great job of holding her back as Death Down Under puts 4 on the board, increasing their lead.
And Death Wish goes to the helmet, knows that she's got the 6 penalties, I'm guessing, and wants to pass the star off. And who better to have as the pivot if you're the Reservoir Dolls than Gallifrey.
Gallifrey breaking to the inside, shooting to the out, putting the star on Mars, breaking through, looking to put points on the board for Emerald City.
And that was an initial pass, so no points awarded. But we do have another 22 seconds left in the jam. Gallifrey lands it in bounds.
Holds the line, spin to win, gets through, puts another 4 on the board.
And that brings us to 146, 162. Spartans still maintaining the lead. But Death Down Under hung up in the pack.
5 points up for Reservoir Dolls. Gallifrey making the most out of that jam. 14 points separating these two teams right now with just under 2 minutes left in this game. It is getting down to the wire, and they're going to be putting all wheels on the floor for this one.
Spartans in yellow, 165. Reservoir Dolls in black, 151. We've got Reno set to jam for FoCo. He's sitting at 67 points. Psychotic Angel jamming for the Reservoir Dolls with 55 points on the game.
And coming out on top of that one, Reno picking up the lead jammer knot as he pushes his way through that defense. Number 13, Psychotic Angel, not far behind him. With such little time left on the clock, that pack picking up the pace right now.
And Reno content to roll forward. He's got 5 points. Game clock separated by the jam clock. Game clock at 1:06. Jam clock 1:30. So Reno can run out the game with this jam.
They could.
If he doesn't get into any penalty trouble, he's got the 5 points. FoCo continuing to run.
Psychotic Angel trying to push her way through, but that pack's speed is proven to be a bit for her as she tries to get up front to put some more points on the board. Hop, skip, and a jump. 2-5-7 fights his way through for 5 in the sky.
Meanwhile, Psychotic Angel with the star off of her head, looking to pass it off. Slam Shady says, "You giving it to me?" Psychotic Angel says, "No, I'm putting it back on my head."
She's not done yet.
She is not done yet. Period clock now at 25 seconds as Reno through with 4, and I think we can say this game safely in the hands of FoCo, now leading 179 to 151 as the star pass is finally completed, and Psychotic Angel clearly winded heading to the bench. And she took a few heavy shots. Baby, oh, I thought Baby was getting the call, but no, the out of play failure to reform on sunny days, and that is that.
Reno waiting for that clock to count down, strategically calling off the jam at the very end of the game clock. We have an unofficial final right now. 180 Spartans, 151 Emerald. They're going to dot their T's and cross their I's, make sure everything's accounted for. But I think it's safe to say that FoCo took this one down.
It is very safe. They were leading in going into that last jam and clearly added more points. So whether the totals are the different, and I just heard the whistle, I think that is our final score, 180 to 151. Reno leads all scorers, 82 points after that last jam. While Psychotic Angel fought hard 55 to lead the Reservoir Dolls. So an excellent game by both teams.
Definitely put it all out on the track in this one. It was a good fight by both sides for sure. Back and forth, both halves. A handful of points away from each other. Spartans shooting out in front in the last few minutes of this game.
All right, coming up next on track 1, we will have Arch Rival versus Rat City, a WFTDA matchup. Meanwhile, right now, if you switch over to track 2, you can see Minnesota Roller Girls taking on Terminal City out of Vancouver, British Columbia. And as the teams prepare to take their final victory laps, I think we will sign off.
Absolutely. I'm the Norwegian Persuasion.
And I am Scott Chicken.
It has been our honor and privilege to call this game for you today. And stay tuned for more action here at the Big O on WFTDA.tv.
Looks like the score is finalized.